Managing the context is not, it's a phrase that I borrow from a reading that I assign in my class. And, I really, when I first started teaching this class, or in general, any classes, I didn't really have a mantra of sort of like managing the context. It's actually something that I came to in teaching this particular class and have since really identified with the expression and sort of helping me understand what it is that I do, as a teacher. And it's also what I try to teach my students about what I think it is they do or will do as managers, as leaders, as even working in teams, those kinds of situations. It's really about recognizing what do I control and what don't I control as an instructor, and for them as managers, and we're all working with people, and my students are all independent thinkers just like anybody else's students, and so there's really only so much that I can actually affect in them. I can't make them care about the class. I can't make them find it interesting. Some of them do, and that's great. They come to it that way. I can't even really make them come to class or do the work. The grades and the accountability that's built into the class, of course, encourage that, but that's part of the context. That's part of what I create that tries to arrive at the outcomes that I want. And so when I think of managing the context, I think of it as saying, well, really the first challenge for me is to say, what is it that I want? What is it that I'm hoping for in this class? How do I want them to engage? How do I want them to think? What do I want them to learn? What do I want their experience to be like? And so having an idea of what I want is being the first piece. The second piece is to say, well, what kind of environment, what kinds of characteristics of an environment have to be present to make it likely that those things will actually happen? And the parallel for management is to say, well, if you want motivated workers, if you want engaged workers, if you want people to put a lot of energy and passion into their work, you can't just assume that the work itself is always going to do it. What other kinds of conditions can you create in the environment that will elicit that, make it likely that that will happen?